Good morning, India, and welcome to Gunnershot and P Gurus. Today we're going to talk of a question which we have to consider. Has Bangladesh changed? And to join me in this conversation today morning is Sree Iyer ji, all the way from California. Sree Iyer ji, welcome, and we're going to discuss a very interesting thing called Has Bangladesh Changed?
Thank you so much, sir. Always a pleasure to be on Gunnershot channel. Viewers, this is coming live from Gunnershot and P Gurus. Wherever you are watching it, please like, subscribe and share to that channel and also to the other channel. Thanks in advance. Back to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. What we're going to do is, well, there's a new government in place. It's completed over 100 days, a little more than 100 days, in fact. A lot of issues have come up. A lot of, relations with India have come into the fore. And ever since the BJP government has come in place in West Bengal and Assam now and Tripura, things have changed. Our relations with Bangladesh are undergoing a change. And they are undergoing a change fundamentally because of this political change at the ground level, as also the political change in Bangladesh, right? So there is a fundamental change. And there are certain issues of push-ins and all that, which we will talk of. But there are some basic issues which you have to consider. Has Bangladesh changed? Because there's been a huge change in Bangladesh over the past 1.5 years. Go back in time. You see, Sheikh Hasina was there one day. The next day she was out. And from thereafter, for a period of good about 1.5 years or so, you had a anarchic rule by the chap Yunus. And then suddenly he's vanished. Elections have taken place and a new government has come in. And Bangladesh has changed over these 3 periods. Right? But the question is, you don't go back into the history of Bangladesh and how it has changed over the entire history. Let's see within the past 6 months what Bangladesh was before, 3 months before this, change of power, and 3 months after the change of power. What has changed in Bangladesh? Has anything changed? That's the question which we're going to discuss. We're not going to discuss too much about the border issue and all that, because unless you know, when you have to treat a patient, have to know what is wrong with the patient, and that's what we're going to see, or right with the patient. So this is my opening thing, and I'm trying to set the context in what you're talking. Your views on this, and then we will get into a formal thing and we'll discuss that. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, General Shankar. Viewers, I put out at 6 a.m. the story about how Chittagong area is being Ukrainified. By Ukrainified, what I mean by that is a lot of protests and a lot of racketeering and drugs and so on and so forth because of the amount of refugee population there. You may want to see that just to get an idea of that one specific area of Bangladesh. I'm also concerned, this is what I'm hearing now, is that the Awami League party was banned by Muhammad Yunus. And this guy, Tariq Rahman, did not lift the ban after coming to power. He could have done that because there's 4 more years, they can't do much, but he has not done that. Also, what I'm hearing is the Awami League rank and file has also been attacked by the elements who thought that, we need to cleanse this place or something like that. Many Muslims who are part of Awami League members are also rumored to have been killed. See, I am first a human being. No unnecessary killing. It doesn't make sense. So the way things are now is Awami League either has gone into hiding, or some of them have snuck into India, just like Sheikh Hasina, the bigger, higher leadership, and some are actually joining the Jamaat-e-Islami. That's actually worse for the people, in my opinion. I don't know how this is going to play out. So this is another unfortunate consequence of the Yunus regime. And US doesn't care about all these things. This is, coup a day, a dime a dozen. That's how they look at it. And they always go into the pottery barn store and damage the pottery and come out. So this is something that Bangladeshis have to figure it out for themselves. but we will help you find your way. That's what Thakkar is going to do. Over to you, sir.
Oh, thanks a lot. So you brought out a few issues regarding the external factors which are bedeviling Bangladesh. I wouldn't say external factors. There's an internal political factors which are bedeviling the exterior of Bangladesh, right? The news of, it's a larger political question which Bangladesh has to address. How to deal with the Awami League? If at the end of this 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you're going to see only these two parties remnants, the Jamaat and the BNP, with Awami League out of the equation, then we're going to see a vastly different Bangladesh. We have to decide on how do you treat that Bangladesh, or we accept that Bangladesh how it is. Well, either case, we really don't have a choice whether Awami League comes in or not, or Bangladesh or its politics decide to shun that party out, and the character of Bangladesh will change completely. And we have to live with the reality, and you have to live with that entity, whichever comes out as days go by. So, one major symptom is very clearly Bangladesh has changed. Has Bangladesh changed? The answer straight away is Bangladesh has changed. That is the political aspect. But what next? What are the other things which we're going to do? And I'm going to take you through a few issues. And this is not something which I'm saying. This is straight out of what Bangladesh newspapers and media say. And you understand the pulse of Bangladesh. Look at this. We know Bangladesh has sought an IMF bailout. So, and we discussed this last week. So, without doubt, there is a big problem, an economic problem, and we're going to touch on that. Because a lot of things how Bangladesh will shape itself in future will depend on that. And I found this actually why I opted for this topic today, and that's what I had a discussion yesterday with Sree Iyer ji and said, look, let's talk of this. Is this article, the first paragraph of this article tickled something. And it says, it's a very thoughtful article. It's in Daily Star. 100 days is not enough to make a final judgment on any government. I agree with them. But 100 days is good enough to get the drift of this government. This is even truer in Bangladesh, where an elected government has taken office after a period of interim rule, political uncertainty, a fragile economy, worsening law and order, and deep public distrust in state institutions. Still, 100 days are not meaningless. That's the point. It gives you a drift. This is a period which tells us whether a government has been able to set its priorities, and more importantly, whether it has the administrative capacity to act on these priorities. And that is what we are going to see today. Right? And that is what we are going to see. We're not going to just see the political aspect of it. The political aspect of it is well covered by Sree Iyer ji. And what comes out, the first, it's international relations. Look at this. One headline, this is from South China Morning Post. It doesn't come from Bangladesh. It says Bangladesh is testing its India ties by seeking China's aid for 𝗖𝗓 River. So very clearly, Bangladesh is trying to edge towards China and get them into the 𝗖𝗓 River project. And where is the 𝗖𝗓 River project? Just next to the Indian border, 12 kilometers away. Okay, why Bangladesh could raise Indian flags by buying a China-Pakistan fighter jet. And then they're talking of Lalmonir and all that. So that's at the north. And then Bangladesh, Turkey signal a new era of strategic partnership.
Sir, one question on the previous slide. If you go back one slide.
I've come to that. I'm going to come to that. I'll come to that. Wait, I'll just come to that. Getting to the larger picture. And of course, Bangladesh seeks IMF aid. We'll come back. Now you see that Bangladesh has predictably, in the first 100 days, gone towards Turkey, Pakistan, and China. What does it tell you? Back to you, Sree Iyer ji, and your thing. Yes.
So question, a curiosity question, viewers. Is this made in China and painted in Pakistan? Just want to know.
Oh, that's that I agree with you. It's made that's all it is. Okay, but right, but no. But let's get the drift of what I just think. These three headlines tell what does it tell you about Bangladesh? Has Bangladesh changed?
It's changed for the worse.
Yeah. So it's right. So there is very clear evidence that Bangladesh, as far as international relations, let's not be fooled by the fact that it wants to improve its relations with India. Improving relations with India, the way I look at it, is a transitory phenomenon, waiting for its recovery before it gets back to the old ways. And very clearly, it has not drifted away from the fact that it wants to get Pakistan into Lalmonirhat, China into the Teesta Barrage area, both in critical areas abutting Cooch Behar and Assam, and a new entrant in Turkey. So this is the first thing which I wanted to put across to everyone. Remember this. Okay. Now the second thing is, of course, the issue of their economy. Their economy was bad before this. Is it any better? Let's look at some issues which are there in this economy of Bangladesh. We'll tell you the drift at where it is going. Look, Bangladesh has not only gone to the IMF, it has also gone to foreign loans to plug their deficit. So the IMF is bad, but going to the market, foreign or going to the foreign market for loans is even worse. Uninstitutional loans. And if they're going to, of course, they can't take a loan from Pakistan, because Pakistan will have to take a loan from someone else to give it to Bangladesh. But the other loan, people who lend to Pakistan, to Bangladesh today, definitely not Turkey. Turkey is also in a bad shape. So it's China. Okay. So this is something which we have to factor in. So let's expect that Chinese money in some form or the other will flood Pakistan, apart from the IMF bailout. Okay. And then the government see their ambition. Is this viable or not? They're looking at a 6.5% growth in the financial year 27. And they say that in 25-26, this financial year, not 25-26, 26-27, right? They're looking at they're looking at a 5% growth. And if you look at look at this, their actual growth in financial year 25 was just 3.4%. Right? Now they expect this year that they will reach, estimated as 5%, and their proposed for the next year is 6.5%. Right? And all this while their defaulted loan has gone up. It has gone up by so many crore takas. So this country is in financial distress. It's gone to IMF. It has an ambitious program, right, and of growth rate, and it has gone to the market. So what do you make of the macroeconomic situation? As Shreyaji, yeah.
So they have a couple of challenges. One was that once the regime changed, it is believed even the then US ambassador to Bangladesh, his name is Peter something, Haas, H-A-A-S, Peter Haas. Now, what has happened is Peter Haas has some connects with a famous jeans company, Levi Strauss. And it is believed that all the Levi Strauss business that used to come to Bangladesh got quietly transferred to India. Coup is coup, but business is business. Look at the wisdom here. So what has also happened is Bangladesh had a good access to fairly reasonably priced cotton from India. And once the coup happened, that went away. Also, some of the management money, some of the operating capital used to come from India because India was getting a few things done there using its management, going there periodically. This used to be like a shuttle system. This has happened in many other countries also. This was happening to Bangladesh and India back and forth. Like if you take an example, if Tirupur Manufacturing Company feels that it can get what it wants done in Bangladesh for 20% less, it's going to try and go there. Then what happens? The machinery gets moved there or bought and placed there, and the management goes and takes turns and makes sure that the differential is accruing as profit. Now, all those things stop. Many people actually just left with their clothes from there because there was this scare. So that will take a long time to come back. What kind of confidence is the Tariq Rahman government giving now for all these people who had invested in newer machinery in Bangladesh? In fact, it is believed that Bangladesh has better manufacturing machinery than India has. It's because India hasn't upgraded its machinery for a while. It will go through that cycle. So, but you have machinery, you don't have orders. Not only that, they came out of the lowest economic strata zone for EU, and they were going to pay on par with India in terms of tariffs, which makes their competitive edge go away. Now, what they may try to do is, by getting some IMF loan, they may go back to EU and say, no, we are not as good as we thought we were, so we want that tariff break. But that's going to take time, 2-3 years. So in the meantime, what is Bangladesh to do? I have heard that their economy, sir, the numbers tell the whole story. 25%, 30% down.
Yeah.
And this is a country that completely depends upon garment as their exports.
Yeah.
It's a huge hit, viewers. It's a huge hit.
Yeah.
So how are they going to come out of that? By having better relations with India. Are they doing that? That's the question, sir.
No, let's not get to their relations with India at this point of time. I'm sorry to cut you, but because we'll have to see. We're not going to give any prescription to Bangladesh whether it wants to come to India or not. I'm more interested in how I deal with him. That's the point, right? Okay, let Bangladesh do what we want. It wants. This my approach today is a little different. Thing is, let's assess Bangladesh for what it is trying to do. What you brought out is a very important thing, that they don't have the capacity to revive with the existing, after all, we all know manufacturing is their biggest industry. There are two things of Bangladesh which keeps them going. One is manufacturing, and then there's foreign remittance. And we'll talk about foreign remittance a little down the line. So, right, the manufacturing is hit, there's no doubt. And they have taken loans. You see, again, have a look at these two graphs. I mean, for those of you who can't read it, let me make it bigger and so you understand.
Yeah.
Here, the foreign borrowing is just about 29%. But now it has gone up to 47%. Their foreign borrowing is huge today. Right? 29% to 47, 16% increase in foreign borrowing. Market borrowing, and they are on default on internal loans. They're on default status, and they are on the IMF program, and their ambitious GDP growth. And you see this problem of their cotton industry or garment industry not reviving, and they're going to be hit in remittances also. So where is Bangladesh going? Is it going to change from a prosperous country, which it was during Sheikh Hasina's time, to now? Will Tariq Rahman change this with the kind of where of economic fundamentals are and his international relations? That's the point I'm trying to get at. And you see, the whole thing is hopeless. I hope you're getting that, Sree Iyer, and your view on that, and then I'll switch to something else.
Sir, even for them to get the confidence of IMF is going to put some stringent conditions. I'm curious because, see, Sri Lanka could not get the IMF loan without the backing, without the guarantee of India saying that we will make sure Sri Lanka will pay the loans. So India is sticking its neck out for Sri Lanka. I hope the Sri Lankans who are watching, please understand this. And will India do the same for Bangladesh? I doubt that. The way things are today. But they need a guarantor. Who is it going to be? China? I don't know, sir.
Oh yeah, well, that's their thing. I mean, the way I look at it, definitely India will not guarantee any loans to them, right? Unlike what we did in for
Sri
Sri
Lanka.
Lanka. Okay, and especially with the kind of outlook they've already shown, indications within the first 100 days of going towards China and going towards Turkey and going towards Pakistan. They can keep balancing that international relations, but we are not going to balance their balance sheet out. Let's be very clear. So who will they go? We'll come to that. We'll just come to that because this is something which people have to understand. Where Bangladesh has changed or has Bangladesh changed? This is a fundamental question. I'm going to get back today on that. Folks, I hope enough of you see this video and like it and subscribe to it because we're not doing a normal claptrap against Bangladesh. We are doing a deep dissection of Bangladesh based on what Bangladeshis say. Right? This is not my imagined thing. This is what Bangladeshis say. Okay, now let's get to something else. They're part of the same thing. They have a problem of cotton. We know that this is something again macro level one has to understand. They have a problem of cotton. There's a garment industry. Where do they get cotton from? Somewhere they were getting cotton from China, somewhere they were getting cotton from somewhere, whatever. And they were getting a lot of their cotton from India. And that has collapsed. Why is it collapsed? Because other places where cotton is made, the other place, you see, one of the places where cotton is made is Pakistan. I mean, for those of you who don't know, which is that belt where cotton is grown in India? Cotton is grown in India along the border belt, Gujarat, Rajasthan, right up to the Punjab, Rajasthan. When I say Punjab, Rajasthan border, the area or the desert, that's the cotton belt of India, right? Ganganagar south down to Suratgarh and that belt. All you go there, Kapas. Now that's where it is. Earlier it used to be Ahmedabad, but it's still there in the northern areas of Ahmedabad, not Ahmedabad, of Gujarat, where Kapas is grown. Now, like Kapas or cotton is grown this side of the border, cotton is grown the other side of the border also in Pakistan. But what has happened in Pakistan is interesting. In Pakistan, the cotton crop has failed, the wheat crop has failed, and the sugarcane crop has gone up. So there's a huge imbalance, agricultural imbalance in Pakistan, for those of you who don't know. As a result, Bangladesh, for all their cotton requirement, has to come back to India. If you think China is going to give them cotton, forget it, because China has increased its cotton import from India. The sourcing is from India. The next place where cotton is grown globally is Xinjiang and Egypt. Egypt is traditionally Egyptian cotton, right? The Nile belt, the Nile desert belt. Okay. Xinjiang cotton is also not great. That is why China is importing cotton from India. So where does it leave Bangladesh? Dependent on India. I don't think it has the legs to go to they will import from Egypt. After all, it's a country. But Egypt, will it be able to meet Bangladesh's requirement with no money? Remember, Bangladesh is on a dole. Okay. Add to that, there's a problem with their infrastructure. Right? Now, has this government addressed the rot in their infrastructure? Sorry, no, it has not. Right? It also is the rice. The Gulf crisis is hitting everyone. It is hitting Bangladesh. Bangladesh is not living in isolation of what's happening. So far, we have protected them from the fuel impact. Remember, just look at it. The shielding from the fuel prices we have done. Cotton we are giving them. I guess we will give them rice and fertilizers also. This is the Al Jazeera, report. And then their own thing is Bangladesh rice bowl under threat. So my question again back to you, Sree Iyer, having seen this part of the story, has Bangladesh changed for the better or the worse?
Yeah, I have to say worse. Also, viewers, what I mentioned at the beginning, that Chittagong area, that is the rice growing belt. Very, very fertile land. and that's where much of the rice is grown in Bangladesh. Not even though there is no dearth of water in Bangladesh, not all water is usable. They, for various reasons, you have to really take care of your rivers. Let me put it that way. And now that's where much of the insurgency is taking place right now. This humanitarian corridor, a lot of Rohingyas have come in. There is no way to send them back. Because they have come in, NGOs have come in to say that we will help feed them, and these camps are there. Camps means you have dens of drugs and prostitution and other things are going on. This is where the bulk of their production of rice is, and that's come to a stop. Now India may be able to get at least a portion of its fertilizer requirements, because India is doing a lot of refining. Like when you get the heavy crude from Venezuela, you get a lot of byproducts, naphtha, this, that. Somebody has done a nice chart. You can take a look at that. From one barrel of crude, how many liters of petrol you will get, how much of this, how much of this, beautifully done. So point is, India will be able to figure out a way to get its fertilizer requirements. Bangladesh won't be so lucky. I mean, every data point that you're talking here, it's screaming at me, General Shankar, sorry. It is screaming at me that, Bangladesh is, please go and ask India nicely and behave. Don't kill your innocent Hindu brother and sister. Don't rape them. You need India more today than any other time. Don't do this. Anyway, that's just my sense. People, if they are capable of, analyzing, they would have done this before.
Okay. Right. Now we'll look at another issue. See, I'm taking issue by issue. I will discuss their economic macro picture. I will discuss their fundamentals of their trade, their subsistence and all that. Let's talk of something else. Look at this. Okay. There's lynching still going on in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
It has high number of deaths from mob beatings in May. This is the headline which is screaming at you. This is the headline in a headline. And this is the analysis which comes out of Bangladesh. So law and order is poor. Okay. There's a dangerous rise in child rape. Can you imagine? So has anything changed in Bangladesh from what it was early on? Look, we didn't hear of this mob lynching and child rape and all that when Sheikh Hasina was in power. All these started when Yunus came into power. And with all this, see, forget about like I said, we just don't think of, Bangladesh attitude towards Hindus, and don't think of Bangladesh attitude towards India or its economic picture and all that. Just zone that out 1 minute and look at these. There is lynching going on at the bottom. Child rape. It has come into the system. Has that changed? No, it has not changed. There's a healthcare failure. This is a general healthcare failure of this government. And then where is this government focusing? Is it focusing on these issues, or is it focusing on China and Turkey and Pakistan? That's a question we have to understand. And there's an outbreak of measles. See this heading. This heading is called collapse of care. There is out, and there are more than 100 children who have died in Bangladesh because of measles outbreak, and this was about a week back. That has grown up. In fact, the latest count, as I understand from Bangladesh, is over 600 have died out of thing. Why? They don't have vaccines. You see, MMR, measles, and those three things which you do. MMR is measles, and I'm forgetting the meningitis and one more thing, right? Or whatever, which we give to all our children as a routine in India. They don't have vaccination. See, at the end of the day, the government is responsible for the health of the people. Okay, and so this is where the thing is, that care within the country is collapsing. So what does it tell you? Has Bangladesh changed, or has it gone for the worse? Yeah, with just this factor.
See, primary health care is something that's fundamental to somebody who lives in a country. And if Bangladesh is falling behind on this, I mean, Bangladeshis need to go back 15 years and look at their lifestyle, your prosperity index, your per capita income, how it has changed in the last 15 years. India sent a lot of business your way. India sent a lot of other things also. It is believed that India tried to get Bangladesh to try to slow down their rate of population growth because much of your land is in low-lying areas. If global warming becomes a little bit more problematic, in fact, one session General Shankar did, this was in the early days when he talked about Brahmaputra. There was another one that was about, climate change and, sea levels changing. And he had drawn a picture. In 15 years, the way it is going now, up to Dhaka, the whole land will get submerged in Bangladesh, completely gone.
Yeah. So things are bad. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had it was a brain fade moment. MRS, mumps, measles, and rubella.
Yeah,
which is given to us as routine, and every child in India gets it, irrespective of which hospital he or she is born. If he or she is born, through a midwife in a village, that midwife itself is in India. That's the part of our Ayush and all that. You're given. It's not there in Bangladesh. See the failures which are continuing, and these failures set course during the Yunus anarchic period, and it is just continuing. That's the point I'm trying to make. Okay, let's look at something else. Let's look at something else. Look at this new textbooks again. We must go for real reform. There's a problem. Whatever was being taught in Bangladesh was flipped by Yunus. Again, there's a flip going on. So what is Bangladesh doing? Is it going the Pakistan way? Why has Pakistan gone where it has gone? Or why is Pakistan existing where it has done?
Regressed.
Because the textbooks at the basic level were changed. And scientific textbooks in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, had Quranic scriptures in it. And this is not my view. Again, this is the view of Pervez Headboy, who is supposed to be their thinker, scientist, save all that. He keeps coming. He keeps coming in a podcast called The Black Hole. Those of you who've seen, he says, look, how can a nation progress if Islam starts entering scientific textbooks? And that has happened in Pakistan. And the results today are there's no scientific thinking in Pakistan. The same problem is in Bangladesh. Right? And he narrates a story in one of this thing that he went to Bangladesh. And he went to Bangladesh to their science department somewhere, wherever, for a conference, and he went there. And he said he went to the only remnant of their greatness, 𝗟𝗑𝗄𝗎 Bose. 𝗟𝗑𝗄𝗎 Bose was a professor in Dhaka University. And there he is now no more. Right? And they have taken his vestiges of thing out. It's not that why? Because he was an Indian. And why this textbook change alarms all of us, or should be alarming Bangladesh, or should tell us where it is going, is the fact that it is going down that Islamic route. And that's a dangerous route to follow in science and anywhere. If children start learning the wrong things, the nation, where it is heading. It is. I will say it is becoming East Pakistan all over again. And that's the danger we have to contend with. Your views?
Sir, countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, you don't need to worry about a lot of the things like curriculum, what to teach your students. India has just come out with a new education policy. Take it, adapt it to your languages, your culture, maybe a few tweaks here and there. The science portion doesn't change. The concept around which the new education policy is designed is for the next 50 years. I mean, this is coming to you for free. If you go and ask India, I'm sure they'll give you the thing. They say, here are the guidelines, use that. Because if you start using that, what can then happen is for your own universities, entrance examinations, You can go conduct the same day as the JEE. Then you get these kids to have ranks. Then why I'm saying all this is, after all, we are all part of the same ecosystem. India has done the hard yards, figured out what is needed for the next 20, 30 years. And you guys are still, you haven't had time. You are most of the time with up to your neck in water. You're just able to bob up and down.
Sree Iyerji, I must tell you, if you expect that Bangladesh will adopt the Indian model, well, we are in for a... I don't think they have that kind of no out of question. Look, at the core level, these guys, remember, I make no bones about it. I'm very candid about it. That where did the partition or the theory of partition or the two-nation theory start from?
Bangladesh. What is Bangladesh today?
Yeah. It started in East Pakistan then. It didn't start in East Pakistan, it started in Dhaka. So it is ingrained in their blood. Right? There need to be a separate identity and all that. And they have this great vision that they are intellectually superior, ambitious. That's why it is reflected. This dichotomy and this fractures are reflected in the fact that they want to grow at 7%, 10%, 20%, when they are out to the begging bowl. Right? So you see this change which is happening. What is on ground with what their ambitions and what their self-image and what their international are, there's a fracture. What I'm trying to put across, there's a fracture between what's the reality on ground and what's their ambitions and what they're out. That's the change in Bangladesh, which has now become very, prominent. So we have to deal with it accordingly. I'm not going to give prescriptions to them, follow my model. To hell with them, they can follow any model they want. Right? I'm being very candid about it. We're not going to be prescriptive because I have to handle Bangladesh.
So the same thing I would say to some of the private medical colleges and engineering colleges also. I believe they are doing that now. They look at your JEE rank before they give you admission. They look at your NEET rank before they give you admission in private medical colleges, so that you have some reference. Okay, this guy came here. Okay, so he's going to pay for his education more than the others, but at least you know where he stands on the scale, sir.
Yeah, I agree with you. In fact, all over India, everyone takes that JEE score. Even private medical colleges say you apply to us with your JEE score. That's the way it is going. Okay, let's get to the most contentious thing today in Bangladesh. They're talking of push-ins. They are vowing to resist push-ins by India. They're, again, they say that, India's push-in attempts risk derailing thawing ties. Right. So there's this issue of push-in which is dominating everything. But in all this, there's one underlying factor which is being missed out. Okay, it's okay. We want to send the Bangladeshis back. They can't accept them back. All that. That's a issue which will continue. How will we have to do with all these illegal immigrants here? How to push them back, or send them back, right? Or stop. Like I have been arguing, one thing, whether you manage to push people back into Bangladesh or not, one thing is that it will stop the migration out of Bangladesh into India, at least temporarily, till something happens. Okay, that's one part of the story. But the bigger part of the story is, what do they do with the guys who are going to return? That's one. The second thing, there are huge migration problems out of Bangladesh to other countries. They're flowing into Europe. They're flowing into the Arab countries, right? So there's a huge problem which Bangladesh has to look within. Why are people leaving their own country? Why are they trying to go? So this migration problem won't resolve. Migration from Bangladesh to India will continue, whether you do push-in or not. People want a different life. It might slow down. What you're trying to say, you send back people into Bangladesh, might slow down the problem. But it will not stop the problem. Because Bangladesh has a larger issue of people want to getting out of that place. For whatever, there are 1,000 different reasons I can talk of them. So In this sense, we have to see, has Bangladesh changed? Will migration be a problem? Illegal migration from Bangladesh will be a problem? Or what do we do is, will that fencing which is now coming along the Bangladesh-Bengal border, will it be an antidote to what's happening? That's the question. Your views, and then we can take some questions.
So viewers, like I said, I had done a show, I think 2 days ago, about the challenges that BGB is putting in front of the BSF. But see, it's a 2,800 plus kilometers border, or even more than that. I don't know the exact number. Big border. And there are only so many places that the BGB can go and stop. People are being sent back. My numbers are that 15 to 20 million illegals are living in India, of which 4 million have been very clearly identified. 4 million have been clearly identified. 4 million is 40 lakhs years. Only 1 to 2 lakhs have gone back so far. 1 to 2 lakhs. Numbers are quite significant. And many more need to go. As to what's going to happen, how they are going to absorb it, it's their problem. It's not as if Bangladesh became prosperous once this 20 million came to India. They have been where they are. And you will have to figure out a way what to do it. Maybe some more. See, the thing is, it's a mindset. Bangladesh needs to understand who is feeding them. If you don't want to understand that, and if you want to continue down this path, well, you are going to go down the path of ruin. I actually did one program that was well received. I was talking directly to the education, to the medical graduates and the engineering graduates of Bangladesh universities. I was telling them, you should be looking for pure knowledge from people who are most knowledgeable in your country. You can't say that this guy is a Hindu professor, therefore I'll have him killed. What if he is the most knowledgeable person in that subject? Where does that place you? I mean, thoda to akal karo yaar, thoda to socho. You are the intellectuals for the next generation. I find this thing very, very difficult to digest, that this was a country that was formed on the blood of both Hindus and Muslims of Bangladesh and other minorities too. And now you want to kill all the minorities? For what? Sir, back to you.
Yeah, let's take some questions. I'm going to give a lot of people time for questions, right? So that we handle all the views. Yeah. One doubt, why US is trying to enter Myanmar for the humanitarian corridor via Northeast India and Bangladesh? Why not through Thailand? They have military ties and presence with them from Cold War era. Any shot at it?
Sir, I don't know the geography. Maybe Thailand is not so conducive as it is from this side.
No, it's not the geography. It's very simple. Anything to be done in Bangladesh and Myanmar, right, destabilizes India and China together. If they enter via Thailand, they only get one. In fact, they don't get a bite at any cherry. That's the problem with through Thailand. And through Thailand, the route in is difficult. That the route into Thailand where is the route into Thailand? If you see the map, it has to come from very far down south, opposite Andaman Nicobar. Whereas Bangladesh gives a clean entry in the human. Look, Bangladesh is what for? It's not for a humanitarian corridor and all. It's to have a base there. And a base in Bangladesh destabilizes India and China together. That is what you have to understand. And second, the easiest approach to that rare earth pocket in Myanmar is from India. It's not from anywhere else. That is how it is. Okay? Yeah. Why is Bangladesh not allowing its citizen to return unless they know it is Pakistani posing as Bangladesh? Look, the second one I'll discard. Why is Bangladesh not allowing its citizen to return? That's a question which we need to ask. Sree Iyer ji.
So, it's pure arrogance that I don't want to take. Why do you want to go? Look at what happened to Maduro. Maduro was one of the first ones to say, I'm not taking back any illegal Venezuelan sitting in the United States. That really got Trump's goat. So
Yeah.
this is plain arrogance. You see, that's what I'm saying. If somebody is willing to give you at very low prices rice and giving you all energy, if India says no energy for you, they are done. They'll go back to the days of bullock carts. And electricity also, you are piling up debt, unpaid bills. So
Yeah.
they need to understand what the larger picture is. India has been destabilized by these people. They didn't know what they were signing up for. All they got, sir, there are 30 lakh people who were actually enjoying benefits in West Bengal. Those are also being caught now, and they are also being deported. It's not all 30 lakh were Bangladeshis, but a significant percentage were. This is a cleansing exercise. This is not going to stop yours. I'm telling you, India needs to clean this thing up, because otherwise elections will always be a hit and miss. Sir.
Yeah. Next question. Bangladesh closest allies are Oman, China, Pakistan, Japan, and Turkey. Bangladesh's most adversarial relationship with India, Israel, Myanmar, Afghanistan, and North Korea. Well, this is a statement of fact. I'll not contend with it. I'll leave it at that. I'll talk of Japan a little later. Okay. General Shankar Sriji, after Bangladesh PM visit to China this month, shouldn't US cooperate more with India in the IOR? The 4th of July hopefully could be a reset of special strategic partnership. I don't know whether the Bangla PM is visiting China. The dates are not out. But notwithstanding that, your view, sir.
Ramchandranji, the challenge that United States has is that people are beginning to call their bluff. India called their bluff in the trade talks. Now you're seeing Iran standing their ground. It's a different matter that Iran may have been pounded, yet they are able to exercise some control in the Hormuz Strait. They are able to inflict some damage. So what is now happening is United States needs to have a little bit of an attitude adjustment. And I'm going to bring some specialists from United States who are willing to talk to PGuru's audience. And I really, really hope all of you watch these programs. I'm going to give you subtitles, captions with big bold text so that you can easily follow the accent. I'm willing to go the extra mile so you understand what these people are saying. These are experts in their line. And just take a look at it. America's attitude is changing. Trump is a very fast learner in that way. He'll quickly change, but everybody has to move in a different direction. That's not going to be so easy. The whole reason for Sergey Gore coming to India was that a realization that he pushed too far in one direction and it's becoming counterproductive. Sir.
Yeah, I think so. So we'll leave it at this point of time. I don't know whether US will change course personally. Notwithstanding whether Trump is a fast learner or not and all that, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, Japan and Bangladesh finalized a landmark economic partnership agreement in 2026, marking a significant milestone in their bilateral trade relations. I don't smoke, it's cancerous. Okay, I mean, your view.
This is an American statement, if something unbelievable happens, hey dude, what are you smoking? Meaning, like, if you have hash or something, you go on a high without a reason for it. That's what I think hashish means.
Yeah, but let me explain to you about Japan's model. Look, today you say China is an export-oriented model, and they don't have growth and there's no money. And today in the Chinese bank, if you deposit money, if you go in for a fixed deposit, you get half to 1%. That's it.
Correct.
Okay, that's it. The same thing actually existed in China for a long time. There was a collapse of whatever was happening, the financial thing, after the Plaza Accords and all that. So what did Japan start doing? Japan started investing in other countries through these partnerships. The difference between Japan and China was Japan did it very transparently with their own model, and they helped countries out. Genuinely. But the fundamental process was to make money. I mean, let's not have doubt about that. You see the Japanese and the Chinese model of investment, outbound service, outbound export, everything is the same. The difference is China has a hidden agenda behind all that. Japan didn't have. I'm trying to explain a fine point. So you'll see Japan everywhere. You will see Japan even in African countries. Wherever. Japan has a huge presence in Sri Lanka. Japan has a presence even in Myanmar. So this is the Japanese model. Just try to understand it. Any views on this, Sree Iyer ji?
So if I remember correctly, I think Japan is investing its technology in bullet train in India. And not only that, I think it gave a $3 billion loan to India so that it can do the remaining infrastructure around it at 0.5% interest. And that's a really, really low interest because the amount is so huge. In terms of dollars, it will be a big number. But Japan is essentially taking India and walking it, through the challenges of building a bullet train. And there's one more now. It has been announced. I think it's coming to Siliguri, if I remember correctly, from New Delhi. Bullet train, something like that. Something has been announced recently.
Okay.
Next one, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Next one is whatever is happening in Bangladesh is directly under US directions. US wants to raise another jihadi group to trouble India. Yeah. Over to you.
Ramesh, India needs to get its act together as far as judiciary is concerned. That's where the main problem is. If cases are pending for 10 years, 15 years, right? You find a way to just say, look, you have lived with the case for 15 years. That means you have learned to live with the reality. Go figure something out and find the right way to start solving cases and judging on cases in a very, very short amount of time. Even United States, the courts are really loaded. What happened? They have a very effective filtering process. Whether a case has to go for trial or not, that itself is judged. And that the guy decides in 5-10 minutes, the judge decides. This will go to trial or it will not go to trial. So those things have to be done in India. So that way what happens is you are dealing with a smaller set of cases and the judges have time to go through them and give good judgments, fair judgments.
Okay. The channels which are used to view for geopolitical issues, this is the very best one which provides you true insights, very authentic. Thanks a lot for this compliment.
Thank you.
I'd like to highlight that here what I'm looking at is absolutely clear, authentic ideas, but I must also add a qualification that I look at it from an Indian point of view. On that, there's no compromise, right? But at the same time, I'd like to have a balanced view about everything. I would request all of you to get your friends also onto this channel, and both our P Gurus and Ghana Shot, because we'll give you authentic stuff. Yeah, you might like to add on to it. Yeah.
So, Shyam, thank you so much for your kind words. And like General Shankar says, right, we are after the truth. I am critical of my country, my adopted country. I am also critical of my country of birth. Janmabhoomi and Karmabhoomi are like two eyes. You're not going to be able to choose one from the other. They are both equally important. At the same time, where does the truth points to? Where does the truth point to? That's where I am always trying to be. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. 1 minute. Yeah. We have two rotten neighbors who give a damn to citizens of their country, a handful making huge money. Yeah, I agree with you, but we have to live with them. We have to contend with them. We have to handle the problems that's going to come at us. We'll see where it goes. Electric fencing is weak. Need 24/7 drone monitoring. Yeah, you.
Niner Gold, the mindset is changing now. You don't need to worry about people coming back in. You know why? Because those people who were giving them these fake Aadhaar cards, fake voter IDs, that network has been completely busted. Okay. If they come in still and find work, what is India more concerned about? that the democracy is under stress and it's under risk. That's what is the bigger concern. And believe me, you just wait and watch. This is not going to stop. This is going to continue, and cleansing has to happen. And at some point of time in the future, maybe 2, 3, 4 years, when this has become more stable, India might consider giving work permit visas. That means you have a work permit to work on a particular. Sir?
It will not work in India unless you adopt that Korean model of having industries around that fence. There are issues, right? Anyway, we'll see that later, right? And we'll see how that moves, because the problems are huge, and we need to be very clear that in certain places the demography itself is changing because of this illegal immigration, and this is not going to stop. That's what I've said. Has Bangladesh changed in this regard? It cannot, because there is a definite problem between what it can offer to its own citizens to the rate of their growth, rate of procreation, vis-a-vis what the land can offer. So there will be a outward pressure, and we will have to devise methods as to how to handle it. I don't have any answers for this at this point of time, right? Okay, now this is more of a statement, and I agree with it. More the economic issues, more the unemployment, more the radicalism, more the problems for India. So we should find a solution for this security problem. This disturbed situation suits CIA and MIS. I agree. That's what we've been talking of. Your views on this?
I think it's MI6, if I remember correctly. And that's okay. What can we do?
Yeah. We'll have to tackle it. It's a live problem. That's why, every 15, 20 days, I get back to a program on Bangladesh. And I mean, there are two ways of handling this whole story with Bangladesh. I can either focus on current issues, politics and all that, or I could take the longer view. I could take the longer thing and analyze the bigger issues so that the wider canvas is known. I would prefer the wider canvas approach, because when you look at the wider canvas, you can point out where the problems are and start addressing them. When you take the smaller issues and the more emotive issues, then things become a little awry, right? And that's how I view it, and that's why the way I analyze Bangladesh, or for that matter anyone. Okay, namaskar, sir. Good, informative program. Keep going, sir. Thanks a lot. We'll
Thank you.
That's the right. And of course, Krishna, thanks a lot for joining in as a YouTube member. I think we've covered a huge thing. Any final comments, and then we'll close down, sir?
No, so this is addressed towards people in Bangladesh who are capable of thinking through some of their challenges, not just for one individual, but for the society as a whole. Think it from a society point of view. Where are you headed, and how do you better yourself? And we are here to give you free gyan, and it's up to you to listen or not listen, sir.
Yeah. Look, this is a thing coming from Bangladesh. Criticize Bangladesh won't make India better. It would be better if you guys talk about India's internal issues. Don't worry. We have to understand in Bangladesh critical issues, and we are not criticizing Bangladesh. Bangladesh can do what it wants for itself. We have no problem. But whatever Bangladesh does, because you are next to us, there are repercussions for us. And we are interested in getting to those repercussions. Whether you go and rape kids or you lynch your own people is your choice. Do it. And we are not interested. Whether you vaccinate people or not also is of very little interest to me. You can do what you want. But what interests me is, are Chinese going to come there? Sorry. Are Pakistanis going to come there? Next to my border? Sorry. How do if you guys talk more about India's internal issues, this is India's internal issue. Migration from Bangladesh is India's internal issue. Chinese presence along the border is India's internal issue. We are interested in that. We are interested in to see how your economy is faring or not faring, because that will dictate how many people are running away from your country. Right? That is my internal issue. It matters me a hell of a lot if you want to give, America pathway to go to wherever it wants to go. It's my internal issue. So please understand, all Bangladeshis who are seeing, we are very clear what we are talking. From my side, you can go and hang yourself. Blunt. But I don't want to hang along with you. Your final thought on this, and then.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Look, we cannot answer some of these, twisted mind. You got to have the capacity to think through some of these things. Thank you so much, sir. We'll, I think now.
Yeah, I think we've closed. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Join us back in the evening. We're going to talk about China, which is today practicing a my way or a highway approach with India. And we're going to analyze that in the evening. Till then, have a great day.